All right. Well, hey guys. Thanks for clicking on the video today. I spent a very long time playing League of Legends in my life. So I've been playing about 15 years now, and the game nowadays, at least for me, is just not a very enjoyable experience. Given with my current lifestyle and just how much time I have to play the game, and I'll kind of get into more detail throughout this video. So yeah, let's get into it. I'll start off with like how I even got into the game. So I started back when Fizz started coming out. He was on the loading screen at the time, I believe. And when I first started playing this game, I thought League of Legends was like so dog shit. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was kind of one of those games where I didn't really have a tutorial or anything at the time. So I put it down for a while and talked about it with some of my friends in high school, and one of my friends was like, "Come on, dude, it's a pretty fun game. Just give it another chance." And I was like, "Okay, why not?" So a few months later, I came back to the game just to play with some of my friends again, and I was like, "Okay, this seems a little bit better." And this was around the time when Ziggs came out, and I freaking loved that champion when he first came out, dude. The thought of just dropping nukes on people just sounded so sick at the time. And I really play Ziggs much these days because I'm more of an AD carry main now. But if my team's full AD and we need some AP, I have no problem locking in Ziggs. But yeah, from there, I started just grinding the game a ton. I was pulling all-nighters, grinding solo queue, trying out a bunch of different champs and roles. I mean, I was a support Nunu trick at one point. And the competitive side of the league is what really kept me going. I am a very competitive person. I've been playing hockey as well for the same amount of time, around 15 years, right? And just the thought of taking one competitive thing and using to another competitive thing, it just felt like perfect to just have like I play my hockey during the day, and then when I'm all done, I play some League of Legends at night. So and scoring a hat trick in hockey is kind of like that same dopamine feeling like getting a pentakill in League of Legends, and that feeling is just incredible, and it's what kept me going and grinding both hockey and League of Legends at the time. So now, getting into now why I'm making this video is what happened. Um, where did the drive to grind League go? And I've narrowed it down to 5 reasons. The first two are like my personal stuff that kind of go hand in hand. And then the other three that I came up with are just have personal grudge of the game itself. So take them with a grain of salt at the end of the day. It's just my opinion. So, but yeah, let's get into the first one. This one's kind of a big change in my life. Yeah, I'm a dad now. So I got two little kids. I got a 2.5 year old and a 5 month old. And so basically, my life is I wake up, get ready for work, get the kids ready for daycare, work my full shift of 8 hours, pick them up, make dinner, hang out with them and play with them, and then I put them to bed. And that's just kind of like what my life is every day now. So when I have time to play League, it's usually about maybe 2 to 3 hours a night if I'm lucky. My 5 month old has still a little bit of trouble falling asleep for long periods of time. So, and yeah, and it kind of sucks because when he wakes up and for whatever reason, and I have to go take care of him, and if I'm in the middle of a league game or something, and I just, well, shit, gotta go, guys. And this is not fair to like my teammates, and it ruins the integrity of the ladder and everything. So I don't know. It's just not something I'm really able to do much these days, just because being a parent, I can't really grind the game as much as I used to, and that's okay. That's just part of life. But when it comes to Wild Rift, right? Since it's on mobile, I mean, I could play it really anywhere, right? I could just sit on my bed while my son's sleeping, and I could play a couple games of Wild Rift. And even if he wakes up, honestly, I mean, I could just pick him up and grab his binky, put it in his mouth, and still finish my game while I'm holding him. And it just works out for me as a dad. So, and handheld gaming is moving into my next section here. Is I spend a lot of my gaming nowadays on handhelds, whether it's my Switch or my AYN Odin 3, which has been like my top gaming device right now. So I basically use my Switch for all the Nintendo stuff, and then my Odin 3 is basically like my all-in-one device. I can stream my PC games on it, and I can also play Wild Rift on it as well. So it kind of just works out for me at the end of the day, for being a parent and stuff, it's just a better gaming experience for me. So that's the only two things I have on my personal life that why I don't really grind League as much anymore. But all right, so now moving into talking about like the ranked and matchmaking system in PC League, it's just fucking terrible. Even if like I'm trying really hard, it just feels like none of my teammates are really putting in their effort, and it's kind of just demoralizing to really even like try and climb the ladder in this game. And when it comes to more matchmaking stuff as well, is either like I have really like god awful. It's not really not god awful. I mean, they have like a 50% win rate teammates, which is like normal for climbing. But then I'm against like players that have like 90% win rate and like silver 3, and I'm sitting in platinum 4, right? And they're just shitting on my fucking teammates. Like, it just feels completely uneven because the way Riot match makes players is based off MMR instead of face rank, and it kind of creates toxicity. So, say for an example, right, my top laner is like a 50% win rate player who's pretty average at best, and then he's going against a Smurf who's like 90% win rate playing Jace top, and the enemy jungler is his duo, and he just camps the shit out of top lane, right? And then my top laner is just 0-7 in 15 minutes, right? So then he's pissed off. He's blaming our jungler for not helping him, right? And then my jungler is just like, hey, dude, just sit under the tower. You'll catch up eventually. And then he's pissed because that's how top laners are. I mean, if they had to sit under tower, it's just a boring experience, right? And then they kind of just start roaming and griefing other lanes. And from there, the game's just pretty much over before 20 minutes, right? So, yeah. So it feels like nobody gives a shit, but it feels like nobody's trying their best. And I'm in low elo, guys. I mean, I'm sitting in like platinum elo. I mean, I peaked in like emerald, right? Like, I'm not a good player at all, right? So the game should not feel like a terrible experience for like, an average player. But like when the major of your player base is sitting in like the gold, platinum, silver era, and they're all just fucking miserable, they just want to come home and play League at the end of the day, right? So it's just, you're killing your player base by having all these problems. And all we really want is just like fair matchmaking and good quality games. And I feel like that's what everybody wants on every step of the ladder. So, and now don't get me wrong, I don't hate smurfing. I think going against a smurf every once in a while is fine. It helps me become a better player at the end of the day, and I can learn from my mistakes of playing against better players, right? But what's annoying that I've noticed is that when I'm on like a win streak, maybe like 3 or 4 games, and then like I just have this fucking duo smurf shit where they're just shitting on my entire team, and it's just so annoying to know that you're probably going to lose every 3 or 4 games. In Wild Rift, I don't feel like I deal with these issues when it comes to matchmaking or smurfing, really. The only thing that really seems unfair about the ranking system in Wild Rift is that you can 5-stack in a solo queue environment, which I think is fucking stupid, right? And really the only other thing is that Wild Rift has those fortitude cards, so you can just throw in a fortitude card and you can just basically just like run it down if you get autofilled or something and you don't lose any ranked points or anything, and that's obviously stupid as well, right? So the system in Wild Rift is not perfect when it comes to matchmaking and that kind of stuff, but I still feel like it's way better than what we have on PC League right now. So, and I think it's just because they just match between like ranked areas. So right now I'm in Diamond 4 in Wild Rift, right? And I can only match with players that are Emerald and Master, right? I will never see a Platinum player in my game ever again. So it's just, if Riot does something like that, instead of just, they just kept at a range where if I'm sitting in Platinum, I can only play against players who are in Gold or Emerald versus just whoever has an insane win rate at the time, whatever the MMR of each player is. I just think that's dumb. And it's a stat that you can't see either, right? If we could see what our MMR is, we can really predict these kind of things. So, but anyway, that's about the ranked and all that kind of stuff and matchmaking. So now kind of moving on to the next section, which is this fucking rune system, dude. Like, ever since they did this rune reforged in season 8, This game has been so bad. Like, I have hated this rune system from day one, and I still hate it to this day. And it's just the most annoying thing about it is like how the runes are either so broken or they're so fucking terrible, right? There's no really in between, and there's no skill expression or like personal customization really. You kind of just locked into whatever's the best for your champion, and that's really it, man. But when it comes to Wild Rift and how they run this rune system is that your keystones and your runes are like a separate entity. So you could pick a keystone and then you could pick whatever rune tree you want to fit that keystone. So like for an example, right? In PC League, if I wanted to play MF with Dark Harvest, because I miss using that rune, I have to commit to that stupid god awful domination tree, right? And just to use the keystone, right? None of those runes in that tree fit MF at all. But what do you think about for Wild Rift, right? I don't know if they have Dark Harvest in Wild Rift, but they also have First Strike. So if I want to take First Strike as the keystone, and then I want to take the Precision Tree, for an example, and then have Resolve secondary, I can do that in Wild Rift. And I think that's just a better way of doing this rune system than what we have now in PC League. So at the end of the day, there's just room for improvement. They can take some notes on Wild Rift on that one. So, and it's just a better experience overall because you can just customize how you want to make your runes. So you're not like locked into one specific thing. So now this kind of moves into my final point, kind of tying everything together, is that at least for me, it doesn't feel very fun to play PC League anymore. On top of like the matchmaking system, the lack of customization and creativity. I didn't even really touch on the items or anything, but there's not a lot of creativity with items either. And I tried really hard for one split. I actually got coaching from a content creator named Bazize. He uses my testimonial all the time in his videos, so you've probably seen it. And he helped me a ton, and I learned a lot about how to position myself in team fights and have proper wave management and pressure and all that. And I took it seriously and everything. I stuck to 2 to 3 champs and reviewed my mistakes. And that season, I climbed from Silver 1 to Emerald 4 in 1 month. And that was probably the hardest I've ever grinded in League ever, right? I was really disciplined and I never hit Emerald before. So basically what I'm saying is on this section is that anything that your coach really can give advice to you, it's probably going to work, right? I mean, it works for me, and I'm not really that good at the game. But yeah, the grind though was exhausting. I think just grinding and having that disciplined attitude for an entire month straight, while I got to the goal I wanted for Emerald, it just wasn't really fun for me to try that hard. It's weird to say that playing in a ranked mode you don't want to try as hard, but at the end of the day, it's a video game and I want to have fun. And I don't want to like be fucking sweating my balls off just trying to win a fucking League of Legends game. But that's the reality is if you want to climb in League of Legends, you really have to stick to 2 to 3 champs and be disciplined and review your games, and that's just the way to climb. You can't really climb by just doing dumb shit anymore like we used to. So, but and with Wild Rift and everything, like I could still have fun and try new stuff and still climb in the game because I don't get punished when I lose that much, unlike PC League. If I go on like a 3 or 4 loss streak, my MMR is completely fucked and you might as well just start a new account. And it's annoying because you don't want to start a new account, but like you're not going to have a good ranked experience if you have shitty LP gains because your MMR is terrible. And what's annoying, right, is that the MMR typically doesn't fully reset per season, right? Like it's portrayed as. It's never been a hard reset before, and that's what everyone's really pushing Riot to do on Twitter and stuff. If you guys have seen the tweets from Riot Froxon and Dantes. So I don't know if they'll actually pull the trigger on doing a hard reset, but maybe that's something that might bring me back into the game. Just because my MMR on my account has been fucked for years and I can't fix it unless I grind the shit out of that account and fix it myself. And I just don't have the time or the energy to do that. So, I don't know, man. But it's kind of a sad feeling to talk about my gripes with League of Legends. And at the end of the day, it's not a bad game. I wouldn't have played it for 15 years straight, right, if I didn't enjoy it. But it's just the way my life is now and the way that the game is meant to be played. It's a very competitive game now. It's tough to find fun when you're always sweating. But yeah, so to kind of close out this video is after 15 years, I'm going to be switching to Wild Rift as like my main competitive game, I think, until Pokemon Champions comes out. Not because I hate League or anything, it's just the grind, sitting at my PC to play video games when I got my little kids, it just doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore. So, but yeah, I guess let me know down below in the comments if you kind of resonate with me in any way. I know I kind of yapped about everything, and I hope that maybe some people resonate with me because I feel like a lot of people who started playing League back in the day are around my age. So I'm 30 years old. Maybe some are probably older than that, maybe close to 35. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you feel the same way as me in any way. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Take care.